Hello and welcome to the SSL Cup Season 24 quarterfinals. We have four great matchups for you today in this cup race. Four of these teams will be moving on. One of these teams will be going all the way to win the cup. We have União Sao Paulo taking on CA Buenos Aires, AS Paris taking on CD Technicolin, FC Kapstad taking on Gelo Cosmico FC, and then Leafyside Celtic taking on the Shanghai Dragons. Which four teams are going to punch their tickets to the semifinals, and which ones will be going home without the cup? We will get ready to find out. I'm your host, Patrick, and I'm so excited to bring you all four of these cup matchups. And we're getting right into it with Leafyside FC taking on the Shanghai Dragons FC. Both of these teams coming off one win in the cup. Really good matchup in this game. We have two major Division 1 teams. Shanghai is leading the way right now in the Division 1 standings in the regular season, but Leafyside says that doesn't matter in the cup because we're here to win it. Shanghai starts with the ball. That ball's going to go out of play from Takachi. Leafyside's going to be in their own end attacking. Not much going on in the first 6 minutes. We do have an injury right off the bat for Shanghai. Voda's going to get a free kick. He's sending it over to Super Sub. Super Sub shot is well over. Doesn't even get a reaction out of Snorlax. That's going to be a goal kick. Snorlax kicks it in. Super Hoops takes it over to Pedrillo. Up to Ball. Ball finding Dybala. Dybala up the sideline. Dybala's looking to cross. Crosses in. It's shut down by Lynn. Johnson bringing it up. Johnson gets spied to Dybala. Dybala's trying to catch up, but they don't. Ball goes center. That shot's going to be well over the bar. Demethus. Shot goes wide. Sam Albertson of Shanghai was the one that got injured. Kiki Ball booked in the 11th minute. Now we're into the 14th minute. Free kick for Leafyside. Goes over the ball. Back to Noseworthy. Over to Scar. Up to Hughes Galloway. Headed down to Medina in the box. De Soto steps into that, and it's off the flag. And Shanghai corrals it. Bunsen over to Johnson. Back to De Soto. Up to Johnson. Over to Lind. Up to Johnson. Johnson with speed. Dybala trying to catch up. Dybala didn't catch up last time, and he's not catching up this time. It gets crossed in. Headed around. Del Vecchio comes down with it for Shanghai. Shanghai still on the attack. Takahashi tries to get to him. That shot is saved by Snorlax. Throw in for Super Hoops. Leafyside with it. Super Hoops over to Takashi. Ball shot wide. Out of play for a goal kick. First goal is going to be a major one in this matchup as we go into the 24th minute. Not a whole lot of action. Another throw in for Leafyside. Ball throws it into Hughes. Hughes back to Ball. Ball's over to Hughes. Hughes puts it in the box. Lynn steps into that. The ball gets it. Over to Hughes. Hughes comes down with it. Gives it over to Dybala. Dybala over to Stain. Stain's shot is wide. Shanghai crosses it in. Snorlax comes out and gathers it, and that chance is taken away. Snorlax going to be patient, trying to find the opening. Hohenhan is right up in Snorlax's face. They don't usually allow it to be that close, but they did. McTendy gets it. McTendy looking to get it out of their end. McTendy crosses the field of play over to Ball. Ball now running. Ball with a heavy touch. Ball gets it back to Pedrillo. Pedrillo over to Ball. Up to Dybala, over to Stain. Stain, up to Super Hoops. Super Hoops now running. Super Hoops kicks it in. That's a shot. Takashi off the post. And Ball comes down with it for Leafyside. Back to Noseworthy, and That ends that attack. Now, Shanghai trying to play deep, but ball gets to Drilla, gets it back over to McTendy. McTendy over to Super Hoops. Super Hoops looking to attack now. Super Hoops going down the sideline, moves it in over to Takashi. Takashi crosses, shot, goal! Leandro Dybala with a goal, but they're going to say it was offsides. They're going to check it. And it's a goal. 1-0, Leafy side. Super Hoops moves to the inside, which gives them a pass to get it to Takashi. Takashi crosses it over to Dybala, who's right in front of Trent Johnson, and buries it easily for the 1-0 lead for Leafy side. Now Shanghai with it, Del Vecchio. Shanghai also lost a player to injury, and Super Sub had to come on. Johnson bullies his way to the ball. Now Shanghai is running. Shanghai with numbers. Jamesius over into the box. Crossed into Volta, and Volta scores 4th goal. That was a thing of beauty. Johnson jumps over to get the ball. We're going to check, see if it was allowed, and it's not allowed. It was not a thing of beauty. They said it didn't happen. Voda just in front of McTendy and is offsides. Still 1-0. Free kick for Shanghai. Ball gets it out. Super Hoops with it for Memphis. Crosses it in. Snorlax comes down with it. Leafy side needs to keep the pressure on. They're not going to be able to relax against this Shanghai team. Just because they're up doesn't mean they get lazy. McTendy gets it over to Super Hoops. Super Hoops is on run with it now. Super Hoops running. Looking for a player. There's nobody yet. Super Sub marking. Super Hoops slows down, crosses it in. Headed, and it's a goal! Leandro Dybala, 2nd of the game. And Super Hoops finding them. Dybala in the box was a thing of wonder. Super Hoops beats Super Sub with a little stop and go, crosses it in, and Dybala out jumps Johnson for the 2-0 Leafy side lead, and we're going into the 38th minute here. 40th, Takachi with a free kick. Takachi sends it up. Shanghai can score in droves. Over to Takashi of Leafy side. Leafy side loses the ball, but Takashi's going to get it back. Now they set back up. Over to Super Hoops. Super Hoops been a big contributor so far. Crosses it in. It's headed out. Ball's going to come down with it. Johnson on them. Gets it up to Pedrillo. Over back to ball. Ball's going to shoot, and that's wide. Goal kick. Goal kick now for Shanghai. Sends it deep. Headed around. Han and Han comes down with it. Sends it up. Super Hoops out jumps Super Sub and sends it up to try to get Hughes Galloway, but the Soto of Shanghai comes down with it. Over to DeVelchio. Over to Johnson. Up to Jamithis. Over to Voda, but it's intercepted by Leafy side. Now to Kashi. Over to Super Hoops. Super Hoops been setting up these goals. Crosses it over to Ball. Ball now has a chance. Ball passes in. Shot! Hughes Galloway with the goal. Orla Hughes Galloway makes it 3-0. What a great cross over to Ball from Super Hoops. Ball finds Orla Hughes Galloway alone in the box, and they bury it. Right there's the pass, and Takachi can't do anything. Takechi can't do anything. 3-0 first half for Leafy side. We're going to get +3 of stoppage time, and that's going to be halftime. 3-0 Leafy side, 9 shots for Leafy side, 4 for Shanghai, 3 on target, 1 on target for Shanghai, 2.24 XG for Leafy side, 0.2 possession in favor of Leafy side, 54-46. 2 goals by Leandro Dybala, 1 goal by Orla Hughes Galloway. And we'll be starting the second half in just a second. Get some halftime subs going. See who's going to get brought on. You'd think it's going to have to be Leafy side making that sub, as Shanghai has already made a sub, and it is no subs. Leafs side kicks off with a 3-0 lead. Takahashi up the sidelines, tries to get over to Hughes Galloway, but that's intercepted by Brunson. Yellow card for staying that free kick is blocked. It's going to be a corner for Shanghai. Look, Shanghai's not out of it. They have plenty of time to get this back. Trick Johnson over the corner, sends it in. It's knocked out. Super Sub's going to win the race to it. Super Sub with it. Medina marking. Medina steals the ball, but that's going to go over to De Soto of Shanghai. Shanghai gets it back to Del Vecchio, and that's going to be it on that attack. Throw in for Shanghai. We're probably going to see a lot of Shanghai possession here because they're going to be sending everything forward to get this game back into range. Over to DeVecchio, over to Super Sub. Foda shoots, it's blocked. Johnson comes down with it, back over to DeVecchio. DeVecchio crosses it in. That shot is from Hohenheim, and it is going to be a corner. Johnson over the corner, going to send it in. 52nd minute, sends it in. Headed out by Noseworthy. Super Sub comes down with it. Over to De Soto, up to Lind. Cross back out. Now Bunsen with it over to De Soto. Now Leafy side on the attack. Crossed in. Intercepted by Shanghai, but Super Hoops don't come down with it. Super Hoops looking. Super Hoops been creating all these chances for Leafy side. Really great game for them. Now it's ball. Ball into the box over to Dybala. It is in. Leandro Dybala. If it counts, it's going to be a hat trick. May have been offsides. That's why I didn't get all that goal call going, because it looked offsides to me, and it was offsides. My eyes are getting better. Just a little early of a run. You see them in front of Lynn. Nobody was keeping them on the other end, and that is going to be offside. Still 3-0 Leafy side. But that could shake up this game. Noseworthy wins the header, gets it over to Takahashi. Del Vecchio takes the heavy touch away, gets it over to Bunsen, back over to Del Vecchio, up to Johnson, up to Super Sub, but Leafy side takes away. Now Dybala with it. Dybala shoots, and it's saved. It's saved by Takechi. If I mispronounce the names, I'm sorry. I say them as fast as I can say them. Johnson over this corner kick. Johnson kicks it in, headed out. Super Sub gets it over to Johnson. Johnson looking for another one over to Super Sub. Super Sub shoots, and it's saved. Snorlax with the dive, sends it over the frame. Johnson on the other side for this free kick now. 60th minute, sends it in, and out. 61st minute free kick for Leafy side. Gets it over to Super Hoops. Super Hoops running. Super Hoops gets it over, but it's intercepted. But Takahashi gets it back, and shot is over. A lot happened there. Going into the 65th minute here. Throw in for Shanghai. Gets it over to Hohenheim. Up to Del Vecchio. Del Vecchio over to Hohenheim. Back to Del Vecchio. Del Vecchio cross. Headed off the side of the net. And that is going to be a goal kick. 25 minutes remaining in the regulation time. Now we're down to 15 minutes remaining in the original 90. Over to Hughes Galloway. Galloway back to ball. Ball in the box. Ball looking for the shot lane. It's curved, but not enough. Still 3-0 Leafy side. Moving along, 12 minutes. Free kick for Leafy side. Sends it into the wall. It's going to be a corner. Ball over top of this corner for Leafy side. Leafy side sends it in. Headed around and out. Nothing comes of it. Now we're going 10 minutes left in the original 90. And we're moving right along. We're now down to 5 minutes left of the original 90. Shanghai needs something, but Leafy side has the ball. Leafy side gets it over to Hughes Galloway, over to Super Hoops. Super Hoops into Hughes Galloway. Hughes Galloway shot off the post. What a shot. Super Hoops comes down with it. Leafy side still attacking. And Takechi comes down with that, and now we're going into the 88th minute. Goal kick for Leafy side, sends it over to Ball. Ball alone on that sideline, gets it up to Hughes Galloway, who gets it back to Ball. Ball up to Dybala. Dybala looking for the hat-trick shot. Save. And we're going to have 1 minute of stoppage time. We're in the 90th minute, and it's 1 minute minimum of stoppage time. Leafy side knocks that back into their own end. Ball still bouncing around. Shanghai finally comes down with it. De Soto over to the Vecchio. It looks like Leafy side's going to move on to the semifinals. And they're going to be very excited about that. One of 4 teams going to be remaining. 3-0 lead, running out the clock. That's going to be the final whistle, and Leafy side punches their ticket to the semifinals of the SSL Cup. 2 goals for Leandro Dybala and 1 for Orla Hughes Galloway. Player of the match is going to be Leandro Dybala with a 8.4. Super Hoops with an 8.1. They had a great game. 1 assist. I feel like they had a lot of chances created that they were responsible for. An assist also going to Carolyn Adema. Nothing for Shanghai. You got to feel for them. I think the Sam Albinson injury really played a toll in that matchup. Once you lose a key player like Sam, it's really hard to replace, and they just could not come over that. So you see Leafy side moving on. Shanghai is now going to focus all of their attention on trying to win the Major League Division I championship. Take a brief break, and we'll get into the next game here in a second. And we're going. Union Sao Paulo taking on CA Buenos Aires. Union Sao Paulo is in 3rd in the Division I Major League. And CA Buenos Aires is a Division II team. So we have this Division I, Division II team, but as we've seen, any team can win. It's going to be a kickoff for Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo gets it over to Aoi. Back to Kirkpatrick. Over to De Groot. De Groot over to Aoi. Back to Head. Over to Kirkpatrick. All the way back to Grilla. Up to Pizzoto. And that's stepped out of bounds. Santori. Some D. Union Sao Paulo's ball. Throw in. Cotswood for Sao Paulo. I'm going to try to get it over to Aoi. It's intercepted, but Pizzoto gets to it, puts it into the box. It's headed down. It's cleared by Buenos Aires. But Cotswold gets to it. That shot is saved. Corner kick. Cotswold over this corner kick. Really early chances here. De Groot with it at the top box over to Rubio. That shot is blocked, but Pizzoto gets to it. Pizzoto loses the ball to McManus. Now CA Buenos Aires with it. Their first time of consistent possession, but that pass is intercepted by Cotswold. All the way back to the goalkeeper, up to Pizzoto. Back to the goalkeeper. Back to Pizzoto. Up to Hashimoto, back to Pizzoto. Taking their time, being patient, just passing it around the back, looking for the opening. Kirkpatrick with it. Gets it over to Cotswold. Cotswold is running now. They see the opening. Goes to the sideline, comes back in, gets it over to De Groot. Shot is saved by Satoshi. But De Groot was offside. So that save does not count in anything. Cotswold with a corner for Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo gets it in. Over to De Groot. Goal! Nerve get De Groot, makes up for the offsides and opens up scoring in this match. Great pass from Cotswold. De Groot takes the first touch, fires it in, past Satoshi for a 1-0 Union Sao Paulo lead in this SSL Cup quarterfinal. Rubin, corner kick for Buenos Aires. Sends it into the box, looking for, and Alguera, the third, comes down with it. Up to Cotswold. Cotswold is quick. And they are taking off. Over to DeGroot. DeGroot looking for it. Finds Rubio, headed off. Nothing comes of it. Looked like a good time run by Rubio. We would have got a better look if it was a goal, but it wasn't, so it doesn't matter. Headed back into the end, but Buenos Aires comes down with it. Lorenzo over to Ruben. Ruben back to Lorenzo. Over to Duck. Duck up the sidelines now. Duck looking for something. Duck sends it in, and that's stepped into. They're pointing to the penalty spot. They are going to review this, but there was contact. Was it enough contact? No penalty. Not enough contact. Looked like a play on the ball. I think that was taken into context. 11th minute. Buenos Aires looking for something here. They have not got much. Headed around, they lost the ball. Now Sao Paulo. DeGroot with it. Stepped into, taken away. No foul. Gunnarsson back to Satoshi. Satoshi flirting with danger, but gets it up. Buenos Aires sends it all the way back to the Sao Paulo keeper, and they're going to throw it back in, up to Pizzotto. Pizzotto back to Head. Head up to Ale. Ale over to DeGroot. DeGroot up. DeGroot over to Cotswold. Cotswold back up to DeGroot. DeGroot in the box, sends it over, and Rubio wide open in front of the goalkeeper, and that is their first of the SSL Cup. Rubio with a beautiful goal, thanks to a great pass by Cotswold up to DeGroot, and then DeGroot's run leads to them getting in the box and being able to find Rubio, who goes right between the goalkeeper's legs. 5-hole goal. (2-0). Union Sao Paulo with a free kick now. Cotswold with it over to Nelson, over to Mulder. Mulder to Hashimoto. Hashimoto's going to take a shot. It's blocked. Ao's rebound shot is off of a defender and out. Cotswold with a corner kick. 15th minute. 2-0. DeGroot over to Nelson. Mulder. Mulder shot off the crossbar. And Sao Paulo comes down with it. It's been all Sao Paulo all game. Cotswold beats their player, crosses it in, headed around, but Mulder's going to get to it. Nope, it's out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Sao Paulo. Here's the throw-in. We're still only 16 minutes into this game. Mulder with the ball. Mulder to the middle. Mulder's tripped up. It's going to be a penalty. And I think this one's going to stand because that was a kick of the leg. I'd be shocked if it gets overturned. They're listening. And it's awarded. It's going to be a Union Sao Paulo penalty kick. Rubio steps over it. Steps back. Takes a deep breath. Runs up to it. Kick. Save! Satoshi with a huge save. Corner for Sao Paulo. If Buenos Aires can get this ball, they can hold a lot of momentum. Group's shot is blocked. It's going to be another corner. Buenos Aires just needs to get some control of this ball. They have been being tested on defense. It comes in. And Duck steps into that and gets the interception. Duck running up. Duck circles back and loses the ball. Oh, Lorenzo has been shown a yellow card for Buenos Aires. Now it's a Buenos Aires corner. Sends it up to the top of the box, over to O'Leary, back to Santori, and it's over the bar. It has settled back down. We had a 5th minute goal and a 12th minute goal, and now we've been scoreless since the 12th minute, so we're in the 32nd minute. DeGroot all the way back to the goalkeeper, Head. Back to Pizzotto. Pizzotto up to Nelson. Over to Hashimoto. Hashimoto gets tripped up, but nothing called. Duck with it. Duck sends it over, and it's intercepted by Head. Santori gets the heavy touch off of Head, and now CA Buenos Aires looking to attack. It sends it up to O'Leary. O'Leary's free. O'Leary shoots and scores, and now it's a 2-1 game. CA Buenos Aires with a quick attack finds O'Leary with a great run. O'Leary was kept onside by, I'm not sure. The offside trap did not keep. I didn't get the line. Let's see if they give it here. Yep, kept onside by Pezzotto. Just barely. And O'Leary takes advantage of it. Off the kickoff. Heavy touch by Cotswold. Like I said, Buenos Aires can take momentum from that PK save and have a great chance to run here. But they lose the ball. Sao Paulo down with it. The longer Buenos Aires stays in this, the bigger it's going to get. 2-1. Sends it up to Rubio. Rubio shoots. Goal. Julian Rubio, their second of the game, second of the cup, if it stands. It did look a little offsides. And it's just no goal. Just past Lorenzio. All the hands come up. And nothing happens. Now Sao Paulo with a chance to tie it up heading into halftime. Back to Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson over to Criminal. Criminal back to Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson sends it all the way back to Satoshi. Satoshi up to Lorenzo. Lorenzo over the Duck. Duck now attacking. Duck looking for the play. Duck sees it and it's headed out. Duck lost the ball. And Buenos Aires has given it back to Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo now attacking Cotswold. Cotswold up the sideline. Cotswold back over. Cotswold with a good touch. Shot! And it's wide. Okay. 70% possession by Sao Paulo. Corner for CA Buenos Aires. Sent to the top over to O'Leary. O'Leary with a goal. O'Leary back to Santori. Shot! And it's over. Criminal. Going up the sideline. Criminal first out. Buenos Aires. Looking for something. Crosses it in. It's a bad cross. Way too much curve on that ball. Now, Union Sao Paulo over to De Groot, over to Rubio, and Rubio buries it for their second goal of the game. What a great takeaway and great counterattack. Mulder finds De Groot here. De Groot comes down with it with a great touch, sends it over to Rubio at the top of the box. Rubio sends it well past Satoshi, and that's going to be a 3-1 Union Sao Paulo lead. Last play before halftime, I imagine. De Groot with it. De Groot gets it over the corner, sends it over to Cotswold. Looking for the play. Sends it back over to De Groot. De Groot with it now looking to cross. Gets it up to the top of the box. It's stepped into by Ruben. Mulder with it. Mulder circles over to Cotswold. Shot is over the bar for a goal kick, and I believe that will be the end, and it is. Halftime. 3-1. Union Sao Paulo lead. 14 shots compared to 5 in favor of Sao Paulo. 7 on target compared to 2 in favor of Sao Paulo. 2.85 XG compared to 0.33 favor of Union Sao Paulo, and 69% possession in favor of Sao Paulo. Those are the chances on the board and the heat maps and the action zones. Most of the action taking place in the midfield as always. De Groot with 2 assists in this game. We're going to get some halftime subs, and we'll be right back into the second half. Thank you guys for joining me for this quarterfinal matchup. CA Buenos Aires with the kickoff. They're down 3-1. That ball stepped into by Rubio, and Sao Paulo takes over. Free kick for Satoshi. Sends it up. Comes down with it. Rivers. Gunnarsson. Looking for Criminal. Criminal gets to it. Criminal. Dribbling around up to Rivers. Over to Satori, who loses it to Aoi. Head over to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick back to Head. Up to Nelson. Back to Pezzotto. Sao Paulo does really good, but Pezzotto just loses it, and Santori's shot is saved. Don't know what Pizzotto was doing. Corner for Buenos Aires. Over to O'Leary, and that shot is over the bar for a corner kick. They've been doing this play over and over. They're going to go over to Santori. Santori's going to look for O'Leary. Over to Santori. Shot, and it's out for another corner kick. Going to switch sides now. Ruben sends it up to Santori. Shot is blocked. Cotswold comes back with it, and nothing comes of that. Uniono with it. Over to Head. Over to Cotswold. Cotswold's on a run. Cotswold is going to run. They look for the opportunity up to the group. The group settles it. Over to Ao. Into the box for Nelson. Nelson's shot is saved. Great save by Satoshi. Great play by Sao Paulo. Throw in for Hashimoto of Sao Paulo. Over to Mortar. Over to Nelson. Nelson can't find Rubio, so it's going to be a corner kick. Cotswold over it. Sends it in. Head out. Head gets to it. Up to De Groot. De Groot's shot is saved. Another corner. Sends it in. Headed out. Duck sends it further down. It's a race. Hashimoto's going to get to it. Hashimoto brings it up. Hashimoto up the sideline. Hashimoto cross into the box. It's bounced around. It's on BA. Corner kick. That ball was off of Lorenzo and almost went in. Cotswold over this corner kick again. We've had 4 in a row. Patrick with it over to Cotswold. Cotswold sends it in, headed up, bouncing around. Santori's going to come down with it. Santori's running now. Counter attack, circles it back around, finds Ruben, and nothing comes of it. Free kick for Sao Paulo, but Buenos Aires steps into this. Santori trying to find somebody in the box. That shot by O'Leary is saved. Santori with a beautiful pass into O'Leary, but it is saved to keep it 3-1. Hashimoto now running. Hashimoto up the sideline. Hashimoto over to Mulder. Mulder over to Nelson. Nelson with it over to Ao. Over to Mulder. Mulder's shot is Mulder's offside. Cotswold sends it in. Off the wall. Headed down. Mulder's shot is saved. It's going to be a corner. Horrible angle for me to announce anything from that. Besides the free kick. Cotswold. Over top of this corner. We've had so many corners. Shot in. Headed around. De Groot's going to come down with it. De Groot looking for somebody in the box. De Groot sends it in. Lorenzo sends it back over to O'Leary, and they get it cleared out. Buenos Aires is still hanging on over to Criminal. Criminal loses it to De Groot. Now De Groot's running over to Rubio. Rubio circles it back around. Finds Cotswold running. Heavy touch, but they keep it. Aoi shot, and it's saved by Satoshi. Satoshi making some great saves to keep it 3-1. CA Buenos Aires wants to get out of their own half and try to start scoring. Cotswold sends it in. Headed around. Head comes down with it back to Cotswold. Cotswold's heavy touch. Gunnarsson gets it, but they lose it. Now it's a throw-in for Sao Paulo. Over to Mulder. Over to Pizzotto. Back to the goalkeeper. Over to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick over to Cotswold. We know they go to Groot. De Groot with it. Back to Cotswold. Back to De Groot. Over to Nelson. Nelson shot goal. What a thing of passing beauty by Union of Sao Paulo to take a 4-1 lead. Started with Cotswold, going to De Groot. De Groot back to Cotswold. They did a little give and go, and then they find. Get it? Nope, no goal. It wasn't a thing of beauty. Ignore that. De Groot over to Cotswold, and De Groot ran behind them and was offside. So that's how it got so. Still 3-1. Buenos Aires trying to come back in. 74th minute, head back to Agrilla. Agrilla up to Kirkpatrick, over to Cotswold. Cotswold up to De Groot. De Groot, good touch. Gets past their man, back over to Cotswold. Cotswold over to De Groot, over to Ayu. Shot, safe. Gonna be corner. Goal, Sao Paulo. It's Stop me if you've heard that before. Cotswold over this corner. Sends it in. Saved by Satoshi. That was the 13th corner for Union Sao Paulo. Throw in for Buenos Aires. Back to Duck. Duck. Back to Ruben. Ruben crosses it in the box, but Union comes back with it, but Gunnarsson gets the kick from midfield over to Criminal. Criminal looking now. Criminal with De Groot on them. Criminal sends it in. Another not great cross. Up to Rubio. Criminal steps in, gets it back. Santori's now running. Santori sends it over to Ruben. Not a great pass. Took Ruben out of his run. Over to Lorenzo. Lorenzo over to Gunnarsson. Over to McManus. McManus over to Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson up to River. Rivers over to Nelson. Finds Scott. Shot. Goal. Sterling Scott. They're going to look at it. Scott's running all the way back to the midline because they knew it counted. McManus over to Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson over to Rivers. Rivers finds Santori, who finds Scott running, and it is a beauty of a goal to make it 3-2. CA Buenos Aires still into this with 8 minutes of the original 90. Oh, well onside. O'Leary was the one that was offsides, but O'Leary did not affect the play, they said. '88th minute free kick for Sao Paulo. Cotswold sends it in the box over to Kirkpatrick, who scores. Brian Kirkpatrick with a goal. If it stands, they're going to look at it. A lot of VAR checks. We'll see. No goal. Still 3-2. CA Buenos Aires is still alive. Yep. Well offsides, Kirkpatrick. Well offsides. 2 minutes of stoppage time. This is Buenos Aires' chance to send it into extra time. Over to Criminal. Criminal looking. Criminal's bad pass to Aoi gets intercepted. Now we're down to 1 minute left. And Sao Paulo's attacking over to Cotswold. Cotswold to the middle. Cotswold over to De Groot. And it's kicked over. It's a goal kick. And we have 1 minute remaining. 91 minutes played. And it looks like Sao Paulo's going to get this. Cotswold suits it up and sends it over, and Satoshi gets to it. But we're at the final of the minimum 2 played in stoppage time, and the ref is going to blow it dead. 3-2. Union Sao Paulo punches their tickets to the semifinals, where they keep their cup dreams going. Buenos Aires started the game well outplayed, but came back and made it a great game. Nerve De Groot gets the player of the match. 2 goals scored for Julian Rubio, 1 for De Groot, but they had 2 assists. Buenos Aires had a goal scored by Sterling Scott and Sean O'Leary, and it just wasn't enough. Overall, a great game. Started off all Union Sao Paulo, and then Buenos Aires just slowly started climbing back. Take a brief break, and we'll get into the next game. We have 2 more left of this quarterfinal action in the SSL Cup, Season 24. And we're going. We're here in the FC Kapstad taking on Sheila Cosmico in the Season 24 SSL Cup quarterfinal. Sheila Cosmico with 2 cup wins so far in their march for the Season 24 Cup. Sheila Cosmico looked really good in the last cup game. They've been top 2 in the Division 2 majors, whereas Kapstad is the top team of the minor Division 1. It's going to be a foul. Nothing's going to come of it. Probably going to see a close game, but Shayla Cosmico, by all standards, should win. That doesn't always happen. Capstad on the attack. Moff with it. Shot is blocked by Terrell. It's going to be a corner kick. Moff's going to pick up the ball and send it over. Pelo Zotto with the corner. Sends it in. Headed back out to them. Over to Jang. Jang's shot is saved by Bobek. Hunt over top of this ball. Sends it in. Headed. And it's off to the side. Goal kick for Shayla Cosmico. Warwick into Chevalier. Chevalier back to Warwick. Warwick sends it in the box. Moff gets to it, but they lose it. Warwick shoots. Goal! Chris Warwick, second goal of this SSL Cup. It was a beautiful takeaway from Terrell that gets it, or from Chevalier, who gets it back over to Warwick. Or no, it was Terrell. Yeah. Terrell takes it back away from Moff, gets it over to Warwick. Warwick just sees the opening and takes a shot and scores. 1-0, Shayla Cosmico over Capstad so far. Moff throwing for Capstad. Adu up to Moff. Moff with some space, sends it into the box and finds Zhou Zhang. And Zhou Zhang buries it to tie it up. 1-1. Adu over to Moff. Moff finds Jang running to the front of the net, and they bury it. 1-1 going into the seventh. Oh, there's an injury. They'll bring on Shayla Cosmico's Capybara Chevalier. Great player for them. This may flip it over to Capstad's advantage. Warwick sends it in to Kaneki. Kaneki loses it. Moff comes down with it for Capstad. Capstad over to DeWitt. DeWitt up to Hunt. Hunt over to Wolf. Up to Adu. Adu up to Jang. Jang's heavy touch gives it away to Warwick. Moretti over to Mizukana. Over to Ottawa. 2%. 2% with it. 2% makes a stop and go. Sends it in. And Capstad stops that. Kaneki with it. Over to Warwick. Warwick looking for the lane. Gets past their man. Sends it into the box. It's bounced around. It's on BA corner. Almost an old goal. But that doesn't happen. Super Sub's going to take this corner. Sends it in. Headed off the crossbar. Bouncing around. And it's going to go out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Shayla Cosmico. They're still attacking. Nothing comes of that. Now it's going to be a goal kick for Shayla Cosmico. Up to Moretti. Moretti with it. Over to Warwick. Warwick going now. Warwick running. Warwick looking for it. Sends it back to Super Sub. Back over to Warwick. Warwick over to Terrell. Terrell with it. Over. Back to Moretti. Over to Mizukana. Mizukana with it now. Mizukana has some space. Looking for the cross. There's nothing there. Turns it back around to Acuna. Acuna over to Super Sub. Super Sub shot is saved by a stretched out Jones. 30th minute. Super Sub with the corner here for Shayla Cosmico. Sends it in. Headed over the bar. It'll be a goal kick. Free kick for Shayla Cosmico. Okora up to Mizukana. That pass is almost intercepted, but Kaneki keeps it. Kaneki gets it back from Emerson, loses it, but Ottawa 2%'s there. Ottawa crosses it in, headed, and it's over the bar. Goal kick. Jones did not touch it. Zhang, Zha Zhang is booked. I'm hoping that's their name. Zhu Zhang. I don't know. Zhu Zhang. Tell me if I'm wrong in my DMs. I'll get it right next time. Hunt picks off that pass, gets it up to Ashworth. Ashworth over to Jang. Jang looking for the cross. Jang has space to cross, sends it over to Wolf. Wolf's shot is blocked, but the pass comes into Gerd Close. Loose ball, and Gerd Close buries it for a 2-1 catch that lead in the 41st minute. Let's look at this again. Zhang gets it into Wolf. Moff's shot is saved by Moretti. Moretti tries to clear it, comes off weird, and it goes right to Close, who's on the far end of the goal, and buries it. 2-1 Kopstad over Chela Cosmico. Emerson with it. Emerson back to Cora. Cora over to Super Sub. Super Sub tries to get it up, but it's taken away. Adu with it now. Adu running. Adu with it. Sends it into Close. Close back to Adu. Adu with it. Over to Pelizotto. Pelizotto over to Wolf. Wolf shot's blocked. Wolf back with it. Wolf's shot is wide. Mobeck did not touch it. It's going to be a goal kick. XG in favor of FC Kapstad, 1.56. Remy Torrell booked in the 43rd minute. We're going into the 48th minute, +3 of stoppage time, and it's halftime. 2-1 Kapstad. 9 shots for Kapstad, 6 for Shayla, 4 on target, 2 for Shayla, 1.57 for Kapstad, 0.48 XG for Shayla, 66% possession by Shayla Cosmico. They need to get more dangerous chances. They need to show that they are the better team on paper, but Kapstad with all momentum, and I do believe that injury will play a big effect into it. All right. Second half, Jaylon Brooks comes in for Zhu Zhang. Moff with it. Terrell gets it. Out of play. Throw in for Kopstad. It's going to be a yellow card for Remy Terrell. Gerd Close's book and Chris Warwick book. Corner for Shayla Cosmico. Super Sub taking the corner. Sends it in. It's headed out. Terrell's going to run the race to it. Terrell with it. Turns it around. Terrell sends it over. And Mizukana comes down with the missed header by Kapstad. Ottawa 2%. With it, loses the ball. Kapstad with it, trying to possess it, but Shayla comes down with it. Over to Cora. Or Cora up to 2%. 2% running up the sideline. 2% sends it in. It's headed over the bar. Goal kick. 4 bookings in this cup match. $30 minutes left of the 90. Super Sub with a corner for Shayla Cosmico. Sends it in. Headed goal. Guka out of like 2% with a goal to tie it up. It's 2-2 now. What a great cross by Super Sub, who finds the head of Ottawa 2%, and it goes right past Jones, and we have a tied game. Down to 25 minutes left. Shayla Cosmico taking advantage of all their chances. Down to 15 minutes left. Corner for Shayla Cosmico, 15 minutes left. This could be big. Super Sub sends it in. Headed down. Terrell gets it over to Super Sub. Super Sub looking back to Terrell. Terrell back to Akora. Akora settles it back to Emerson. Emerson up to Oric. Oric over to Mizukana. And that shot is easily saved by Jones. Like Kopstad on the attack. Pelizotto. Pelizotto gets it over, but it's intercepted by Okoro. Misplay. Up to Super Sub. Back to Okoro. Okoro. Back, but this bad pass. Ashworth's shot is saved by Mobeck. That was a very lazy pass. Ashworth jumped all over it, but a big save by Mobeck. Corner. Sent in. Headed out. Pelizotto with it. Heavy touch. Mizukana comes with it. Heavy touch. And FC Kapstad gets it back. We're going down to the last 10 minutes of the 90. Are we going to get extra time? We're now going into the last 5 minutes of the 90. Now we're into the last 3 minutes. Pelizotto for Kapstad. Kapstad has a chance to do a heartbreaker, but they lose it. Adelaide 2% running up. Adelaide 2% gets it over to Terrell, who gets it over. And it's over to Warwick now. Back to Terrell. Finds Konecki. Konecki shot off the post, but it was offsides. Whew. Jones with a goal kick. Sends it well up. Headed down. Konecki comes down with it. And Moff settles it. Moff over to Hunt. Hunt over to Brooks. Heavy touch. Warwick comes down with it. Monroe on, but Monroe's shot goes wide. It was offsides. I really felt Monroe was offsides the whole time. Super sub with a free kick over to Monroe. Back to Konecki. Konecki over to Mizukana, and that shot is well over the bar. We're going to get 4 minutes minimum of stoppage time with a 2-2 tie. We're already through 2 minutes of it. Terrell, free kick, sends it over to Monroe. Monroe finds Ottawa 2%. That shot is blocked. Terrell almost gets it to Konecki, but nothing comes of it. Mizukano over, gets it back over to Okoro. Back to Okoro, but that pass is picked off by Close. Close loses the ball, but they're going to send it out of play so they can reset on defense. Throw in for Shaylock. Konecki gets the throw in. Over to Okoro. Up to Monroe. Monroe shot. Goal. Benjamin Monroe may be sending Shaylock Cosmico to the semifinals. If this goal stands, they are checking it. And it's not a goal. Offsides. 93rd minute goal wiped off the board because Monroe was offsides. And we are going to extra time. Extra time. 15 minutes each. 2 halves of 15 minutes. We're going to settle this. If not, we're going to penalty kicks. You see the stats on the board. It's been a back and forth game. Biggest storyline. Capybara Chevalier goes down early in the first half to injury. Shayla Cosmica hoping to survive off of that. But Kapstad is showing that they belong. And they are battling to win it all. Free kick for Kapstad. Kapstad sends it into the box. Headed around. Headed down. Okora takes it away from Mobek. That could be a bad play. Hunt gets it over to Pelizotto. Pelizotto over to Wolf. Wolf's shot is wide. Five minutes of extra time passed. Free kick. Hunt gets it over to Wolf. Wolf into Kloss, and that shot is saved. Just a nice tip by Kloss, but nothing comes of it. Now we're going into the last 2 of this first half, +1 of stoppage. Is anything going to happen here? No, halftime. We're getting 1 more half of 15 minutes, and if we don't have a decision, we're going to penalties. Abranca with it. Over to Pelizotto. Pelizotto gets it up to Close. Close looking for somebody. Back to Hunt. Hunt over to Wolf. Wolf should have got it over to Moff, but they take it, and that shot is going to be blocked. It's going to be a corner. Would have loved to see him get it over to Moff. That could have given him a wide play, but Pelizotto over this corner for Kapstad. Kapstad sends it in. Headed out. Pelizotto doesn't come down with it. Pelizotto over to DeWitt. DeWitt back to Brooks. Brooks resetting. Brooks to the middle to Wolf. Wolf back over to DeWitt. And we're flying through this. We're down to the 110. We have 10 more minutes of this extra time. Ashworth comes down with an Ashworth to Moff. Heavy touch. And that's going to go to Shaylock. Okoro. Adelaide 2%. Brings it up. Adelaide 2% looking for the cross. This could be big. Circles it back around over to Mizukana. Gets it back to Adelaide 2%. Super sub. Shot is offside. Jones kicks it in. That's everything. Every play is huge. Monroe over to Emerson. Emerson's heavy touch gets him back to Hunt. Pelizotto marking. Finds Adelaide 2%. Adelaide 2% shot is blocked. And it's cleared out well over the halfway point. But Shaylock keeps it. Over to Mizukana. Up to Emerson. Shayla Cosmico putting everything into it, and that shot is saved. Monroe's shot is saved. 113 free kick. Moretti over to Mizukana, over to Adelaide 2%. Adelaide 2% shot is saved. Corner. Shayla Cosmico. We have 7 minutes left in this extra time. Super subs taking the corner. Shayla Cosmico asking a lot of questions. So far, Capstad's answering, but will they be able to answer a lot? Headed up. Claus heads it back out. Super sub gets to it, and nothing comes of that. Now we're going down to 5 minutes left of extra time. Down to 3 minutes left of extra time. 2 minutes left of extra time. 1 minute left of extra time. 1 minute of stoppage time, and we are going to penalties. Oh. Penalties. First up, Emerson for Shayla Cosmico. Over the ball. Steps up. Shot. Goal. 1-0 on penalties for Shayla Cosmico. Ashworth taking this one for Capstad. Mobeck in net. Ashworth shoot. Quick shot. And Mobeck reacts quickly. Save. 1-0 Shayla Cosmico. Monroe stepping up. Jones in net. Monroe kicks. Goal. 2-0 Shayla Cosmico. Adu needs to score for Capstad. Capstad over the ball. Adu lines it up. Shot. Saved by Mobeck. 2-0 after 2. Kanicki coming up. This could be a huge goal. Kanicki steps over the ball. Shoot. Goal. Shayla Cosmico. 3-0. Third round. Capstad has to answer. It's a long walk for Klaus. Everything is on Klaus's shoulders here. They have to make this to extend the penalty shootout. Klaus over the ball. Klaus shot. Goal. 3-1. Capstad still in it. But now they need Jones. They need Jones to save this. Jones is going to be heading up against Super Sub. Super Sub coming on for Chevalier Capybara. Super Sub lines it up. Super Sub shot. And that's it. Shayla Cosmico punches their ticket thanks to Super Sub's penalty kick to go to the semifinals. 2-2. Shayla Cosmico advances on penalties 4-1. What a game. 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 And we're coming down to our last matchup of the day of this quarterfinal SSL Season 24 Cup. Shayla Cosmico barely survives. Capybara Chevalier was injured, but that doesn't change anything. Now we have AS Paris taking on CD Tanakalin. Be right back. Go and get some water. Couldn't wait too long. AS Paris with 2 wins so far in this SSL Cup to get to this point. And CD Tanakalin with 2 wins to get to this point as well. Tanakalin's going to be in the yellow jerseys. Yellow and red kits. AS Paris in their classics, blue and white. Kickoff, Blood Flame with it. Tanakalin trying to survive relegation in Major Division 1, whereas AS Paris is trying to fight for the minor league championship. Quintano over the ball, shoots it in. Headed around. Quintano, Blood Flame gets to it. Blood Flame with time. Shot is saved. But that ball still loose. Somebody a throw in for CDT. Tanakalin with the throw in. Nothing comes of it. Offsides by Blood Flame. Luis Jr. with the free kick, and it goes well out of play because of the block. It's going to be a corner. Empire, the fourth with the quarter. Sends it in. Headed around, and that's out. And we're going all the way to the 13th minute. Now we're going to be at the 20th minute. Nothing much going on here. It's just an evenly fought out game. Throw in for Del Silva. Del Silva gets it back, sends it in, finds Elizabeth Rose, Blood Flame, and they score their first cup goal of the season. They're going to look at it for offsides. And it's awarded 1-0. CD to Nakalan. Cantino finds Blood Flame right in front of the net, and they put it in and score. Great pass by Da Silva. Curves it past the two AS Paris defenders and finds Elizabeth. Empire 4 with a corner for AS Paris. Sends it in. Empire 4th, doesn't get to it. Empire 4th over to Fernsenheisen. Over to McFoot kicks, over to Kovacs. Finds Belmont. Eric Belmont, third of the SSL Cup. They are going to look at it for offsides. And it's awarded. It's 1-1. Empire the 4th finds Fernsenheisen, who gets it over to McFoot kicks. Back to Kovacs. Kovacs finds Belmont sitting in a great position. And Da Silva just never picked up the mark. I'm going to get a good look at how onside they were. They were onside by a good margin. Goal. 28th minute. Kickoff. Blood Flame with it. Blood Flame loses it to Tarandis. Silva's Tarandis loses the ball. But Paris is going to keep it. Foot kicks with it. Foot kicks over to Luis Jr. Luis Jr. back to Cancelo. Over to Fernsenheisen. Over to Wentz. Wentz over to Kovacs. Kovacs finds Da Silva's, intercepts it. Gets it all the way back to Ball. Ball sends it all the way up. AS Paris comes down with it. Now AS Paris on the attack. Silver Tarandis with it. Sends it in. Nobody's there. Ball easily gathers the possession. Sends it all the way up and out. That play hasn't worked, but it just now did. Blood Flame finds Patterson. Patterson's shot is knocked over the bar. It's going to be a corner kick for Tanakalin. Elliott over top of it. Sends it in. Luis Jr. heads it out, and they're going to get back to it, which gives Berendsen ball. Berendsen loses it to Del Silva. Del Silva over to Briere. Briere back to Ball. Ball sends it up. And Belmont's going to come down with it. Eric Belmont's been such a big player for AS Paris. Belmont with it. Sends it over to Tarandis. Tarandis finds Wentz. And that ball is tipped over. It's going to be a corner for AS Paris. AS Paris's Wentz over top of this corner. Sends it in. Headed. And it's headed out. Still bouncing around. The ball's going to come down with it. And we're moving along. We're now in the 39th minute. Now 40th. Wentz over this corner for AS Paris. AS Paris sends it in. Headed. And it's out of play. Goal kick. CD Tanaka. 2 minutes of stoppage time. We're in the 44th minute. Empire 4th with it. Over to Kovacs. Kovacs over to Sauerwein. Kovacs back to Sauerwein. Sauerwein's going to have a lane shot. And it's tipped wide. Ball standing up huge for Tanaka. AS Paris asking questions. Empire 4 sends it in. Headed around. Empire 4 gets back to it. Gets it over to Luis Jr. That wasn't the greatest pass. Kovacs with it now. McFoot cakes with it. McFoot cakes trying to beat Patterson. Kovacs. Over to Sauerwein, but that's a bad pass. But McFoot cakes gets to it, and that's going to be a free kick. Yellow card for Tuckler Sauerwein. I don't know what happened there. That was really weird. 1-1 halftime score. 8 shots in favor of Paris compared to 6 for Tanakalin. 5 for each on target. XG in favor of CD Tanakalin 1.14 to 70.71. Possession slightly in favor of CDT 51 to 49. And this is going to be the final second half of this quarterfinal of the Season 24 SSL Cup. Halftime subs are none. Empire fourth over to Kovacs. 1-1 still. Kovacs with it. Kovacs trying to beat Patterson, but Patterson steps into that and gets it back for Tanaka. Throw in for Paris. Paris gets some of these chances here on screen. Over to Wentz. Wentz trying to find Kovacs. Kovacs' shot is parried away by Ball. Big save by Ball. Great shot by Kovacs. Empire the fourth over top of it. Sends it in. Headed out. Kovacs trying to race to get to it, and they do. Kovacs with the throw in for AS Paris over to Sauerwein. Back to McFoot kicks. Over to Wentz. Wentz back to Louise. Louise up to Wentz. Wentz up to Tarandis. Tarandis back to Furstenhausen. Over to Berenson. Back to Furstenhausen. Hausen up to Berenson. Berenson with the ball. Over to Sauerwein. Over to Wentz. Wentz is trying to find Kovacs, who finds Empire the fourth. Empire the fourth shot is wide. Really good build-up. Just not enough in the finish. Tonto Tut booked in the 51st. Andre Cantano booked in the 20th. And Dunkler Sauerwein booked in the 45th +1. 30 minutes left in this game. Elliott J throws it deep. Knocklin, Elliott J. Elliott comes down with it. Elliott over to Pinkman. Pinkman. CD Knocklin love to play deep. Play far passes. That touch is bad by Elliott and gives it to Wentz. Now Louise Jr. with it for AS Paris. AS Paris over to Sauerwein. Belmont finds Kovacs going up the sideline. Kovacs over to Empire 4th. Found Sauerwein at the top. And big save by Ball. Ball is keeping this game for CD to Dockland. Empire force crosses. Put it headed out. Furstenhausen's and get to it. Cantino marking. Cantino can't mark. Empire 4th comes down with a Berenson. Back into the box. Patterson's head, and that shot is well over. It's a hook. Nothing comes back. 25 minutes left. Deep kick for Tanakalin. Furstenhausen handles it over to Sauerwein. Sauerwein up to Kovacs. Kovacs over to Empire 4th. Finds Tarandis. Tarandis' shot is saved. It's offsides. Big save by Ball. Big save by Ball. Don't care if it was offsides. That's a big message from Ball on that save. All alone, and Ball makes himself as big as possible to save it, even though it was offsides. Big save. 81st minute corner for CD Tanakalin. This is their first big action of the second half. Sends it in. Headed down, Cesar Pinkman climbs the ladder, heads it into the crossbar. It hits the crossbar and goes into the goal. 2-1. CD Tanakalin with an 82nd minute goal. What a big play. Sometimes all you need is one. And they got it there. 84th minute, Empire 4th, corner for AS Paris. Sends it in, headed over the bar. Goal kick. 5 minutes left in the 90. Is AS Paris and tie this up and send it into extra time. Dal Silva's throw in is horrible. Over to Sauerwein. Sauerwein over to Louise Jr. Louise Jr. looking. Finds Kovacs. Kovacs sends it up. Finds the Empire 4th. Empire 4th. Sends it over, and Tanakalin steps into that, is now getting it to the midway point. It's Roger running. Luis Jr. marking, turns him around, back over to Roger. Roger now up the sideline, sends it well over far post. Hannibal's going to try to win it. It's off the flag, bounces off of Hannibal and out of play. 90th minute, we're only getting 2 minutes of stoppage. This is the last minute of stoppage time. And it's all over. CD Tanakalin punches their ticket to the semifinals of Season 24's SSL Cup with a 2-1 win over AS Paris. And it took an 82nd minute goal from Cesar Pinkman. Great game by AS Paris. They had their chances. They just never could get it past them. Tanakalin was pretty quiet in that second half. Really quiet in that second half. Not much going for him. But the one corner that they got that was in a high dangerous chance, they took it. Cesar Pinkman, our player of the match. And that will end the matches for today. We're going to get you over to the winners here in a second. Maybe. I'm not going to lie, I don't remember all the wins. Leafy side beat Shanghai. Shalok Kosbako won on penalties over FC Kapstad. CD Tanakalin took down AS Paris. And Union Sao Paulo beat Buenos Aires. Thank you guys for watching with me today. Thank you for watching the SSL Cup. We'll see you in the semifinals. There it is. There's the new matchups. 3-0 Leafy side over Shanghai. Union Sao Paulo winning 3-2 over CA Buenos Aires. AS Paris loses 1-2 to CD Tanakalin. And Shalok Kosmiko advances 4-1 on penalties over Kapstad. Matchups. Shalok Kosmiko gets Union Sao Paulo, and Leafy Side FC gets CD Tanakalin. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I love you guys. Good night. I'm your host, Patrick.